Gotta walk the valley by yourself. Ain't nobody walking for you. Gotta walk the lonesome valley by yourself. Sisters gotta walk the lonesome valley. Gotta walk the valley by herself. Ain't nobody walking for her. She's gotta walk that valley by herself. She's gotta walk that lonesome valley by herself. Just gotta walk that lonesome valley. Gotta walk that valley by himself. He's gotta walk that lonesome valley. He's gotta walk that valley by himself. We all gotta walk that lonesome valley. We all gotta walk it by ourselves. Ain't nobody walking for you. You gotta walk that valley by yourself. Not live on YouTube because I don't have 1,000 subscribers. This is Bubbles. Okay. How cute is she? I am teaching self-esteem. Oh, got claws. Good girl. Anyway, I've had her since 2014. I rescued her as a kitten from my ex-wife's house and her husband in Spokane, Washington. Oh, she was the, the, the baby or the kitten of Sally, the one I lost in Spokane, Washington, due to a toxic relationship that I've been out of today 10 months. Okay. 10 months out of that toxic relationship. Okay. And the way I got in the toxic relationship in May of 17, so it's over 4 years ago now, because I had no self-esteem. Okay. We get ourselves in very bad situations with no self-esteem. Self-esteem is how you feel about yourself. It's also called self-love, self-worth, self-confidence. Uh, it's how you feel about yourself inside. Okay. Now, I'm teaching on self-esteem YouTube, so I'm looking up here. because my camera is up there. Okay. So I'm trying to look at both places. Anyway, I might get that fixed someday. I don't know. We'll see. Uh, so I got myself in a toxic relationship because I had no self-esteem. I just told you what it was. Okay, so here's the thing about self-esteem. Nobody talks about it. Go out, go talk to your friends and ask them about self-esteem. See what they say. Just say, hey, do you know what self-esteem is? Most people don't even know what it even means. Then, if you want to go one step further, ask them about the inner child. Okay. All of us have an inner child. Okay. Man or woman, it's the little 2-year old running around inside you. Okay. It's there for sure. Okay. And it comes out of the book, The Portable Therapist. Everything I'm telling you comes out of the book, Portable Therapist, written, she's the one that taught me. Written by a doctor of psychology. Her name's Susanna McMahon, but she's nowhere to be found. Teaching it, teaching self-esteem. Because the book, The Portable Therapist, will teach you how to attain self-esteem. One of the concepts in the book, just one of them, is mirror therapy. You look at yourself in the mirror, you say, I love you. Say, I love my inner child. And say, I'm worthy to be loved and worthy to love. Say that daily to yourself. Like I'll say it right now. I love Douglas Bickford. I love my inner child. I'm worthy to love and worthy to be loved. The first time you say that to yourself in the mirror, it's going to feel very strange, silly, awkward, because you cannot lie to yourself in the mirror. And that's a fact, okay? Because you're looking directly at yourself, you're talking to yourself, okay? And you can't say it because you don't believe it, okay? So the very first time you do it, folks, you got to force yourself to do mirror therapy. And this comes from a doctor of the brain, folks. She went to school for 8 to 10 years to get her doctorate in psychology. So she knows what she's talking about. This stuff ain't come from Douglas Bickford. And I'm proof it works because it does work. And I was ready to commit suicide 10 months ago. When I left that woman, I was confused, hurt. I didn't know where I was going. I had nowhere to go. Okay. All I knew is I couldn't be around her because she was going to kill a third cat. That's it. That's all I knew when I left. And I left everything I owned because of it. I mean, literally everything I owned except for 1987 Dodge van, which is all tricked out. I never drove the thing. It was all tricked out when I met her. And I kept it in my big shop I had built there, okay, on that property. So it survived, and I never drove it. I never drove that thing for years, okay. I'd start it up, drive once in a while just to make sure the engine. It's got like 180,000 miles on it, but it's a rebuilt engine 50,000 miles ago. Back in Vegas, I've had the thing for 22 years or something, or 18 years. But I lived in that van, okay. So it was the only thing I took, and I took an old RV, 1987 Prowler, 23 foot, which I still have, which I'm going to fix up, paint it and all that. I mean the inside, but it was in like really no dry rot and all that. Anyway, I took those two things. I took a few clothes. I took my 3 cats because one of them she was going to kill, like I just said. I literally, and she had already killed 2, so I know she'd do it. So it woke me up on November 1st, 2020. Exactly 10 months today. I'm ecstatic because now I can live by myself because I have self-esteem because of mirror therapy. And that's why I'm here on YouTube and Facebook teaching how to attain self-esteem. because nobody's doing it, number one. And this woman never ever appeared anywhere publicly, like a book signing or anything. I mean, this book is not on the New York bestseller list, trust me, because they're training it out of us not to have self esteem, self love. And Facebook is one of the ways they're doing it. Okay. Television, they're doing it with the TV. You all know what I'm talking about. Y'all turn the TV on, or you turn the radio on to make yourself feel better in the morning when you get up. And then the next thing you do is you put on a pot of coffee. If you smoke, you put on a pot of coffee, you light up a cigarette, and the first thing you have in the morning is a cigarette and a cup of coffee. And then you turn on the news for your daily dose of brainwashing. That's what you do in the morning. I guarantee you 99.99.9% of the people do it. Some sort of caffeine, some sort of drug, so they make themselves feel better in the morning because you know how you feel when you get out of bed. You can change all that. You won't need a cigarette. You won't need a cup of coffee anymore if you have self-esteem, self-love. If you say to yourself in the mirror, you're in front of the mirror every day. We all are. If you say those two things in front of you in the mirror, you won't be lighting up a smoke and you won't be drinking a cup of Joe to get yourself motivated because you'll get motivated from inside. Okay. So it works. You'll be jumping in the shower, man. You'll be happy to get out of bed. You'll be happy that you have another day to live. Okay. That's what self esteem does for you. Gives you self confidence. Okay. I just made a video. I'm putting my music up on Facebook and I'm making mistakes but it makes me have more self confidence to be in front of an audience playing my piano and singing, okay? Because that's what I do. And I'm going to keep doing it, whether anybody watches it or not. I don't even know if anybody's watching these videos. Nobody makes any comments or nothing. It's okay. I'm going to keep teaching self esteem. Keep teaching self how to love yourself because nobody's doing it. Facebook, YouTube, it's not on the internet. Uh, and all you can attain self esteem if you say those, if you use mirror therapy and say that to yourself in the mirror. Force yourself to say it the very first time. And I can be your mentor, 458-232-5238. That's my phone number for any of you that want to call me. You might as well get used to Douglas Bickford on Facebook because I'm not going anywhere anytime soon unless Facebook shuts me down. But I'm not doing anything wrong here but teaching self-esteem. Okay. Trying to help all you out there love yourself so you can have a healthy relationship. Because without self-esteem, you cannot love or be loved. I kid you not. And many of you are in toxic relationships right now. You don't want to be a failure, so you stay in it. Okay, whether you're married or not, you'll stay in it. Okay, to uh, just so because you don't want to be a failure. I stuck with it for 3.5 years in a toxic marriage. This woman was abusing me along with her family. She killed two of my cats. I let her do it because I didn't want to be a failure. Okay. But, we make many mistakes and we can't fix when we make mistakes. You can't go back in the past. So you have to just continue on and go on and live life because the reality that life is unfair and full of fear and full of pain is the reality of our lives. Okay. Now you don't have to dwell on that we're all going to die, right? You can live your life, uh, and that the reality that life is full of fear and full of death, full of pain. Okay, because it is. But you can't dwell on past mistakes because you can't do nothing about the past. You can't, because you can't feel guilty about the past. You can't fix it. Okay. So you have to get over it. Forgive yourself for making mistakes because we're all human. We're all imperfect. We all make mistakes. And the other thing you can't do is live in the future in anxiety for something that hasn't happened yet. Okay. So you can't live in the past in guilt because you can't do nothing about it. And you can't do nothing about the future. So you can't live and be fretting about what's going to come that hasn't come yet. Okay. They call it living in anxiety in the future. They also call it future tripping, right? Don't fret about something that hasn't happened yet. Otherwise, it will happen because you're fretting about it. Okay. It'll give you anxiety. And there's many people that live in the past and they live in the future. They never live in the present. Right now, in the present is all we have. Okay. So you have to live in the moment. Okay, anyway, I'm going through the book Portable Therapist, one chapter at a time. This is Why Am I So Angry? And I'll probably be going through this book, Teaching Self-Esteem, the rest of my life because this book will change your life, guaranteed. Get the book, folks. Chapter 44, Why Am I So Angry? Anger is one of the most basic and also most important emotions. It is necessary for survival as long as the feeling often generates necessary strength to do things to protect ourselves that we normally could not do. Anger is also necessary in the infant's development of sense of self as distinct from others. Everyone has anger. Why then is this important emotion so difficult for people to deal with? Question mark. Why does anger produce so much denial of the feeling and so much fear? The answers once again go back to our training. She calls it training, I call it brainwashing. We have been taught, brainwashed, since we're little, that being angry is bad and that other people do not like us when we are angry. We learn that most of our anger is unjustified, as if feelings need justification, and that we have no right to be angry because we must consider the other person's feelings before we consider ourselves. We have learned as children to deny our feelings of anger and to repress them so that we'll not be labeled bad. If we cannot deny or repress anger and let it out, then we feel guilty and have to make justifications for our feelings. We have learned, usually before the age of 5, that anger produces a vicious trap. If we express it, we are bad. If we repress it, it grows into rage, and we are bad. And if we deny it, we learn not to trust our own feelings, and that feels bad. What is the solution for this anger trap? Give yourself permission to feel angry. You cannot control your feelings of anger. You do not always know when and why and how you will feel angry. Sometimes you may feel angry without even knowing why. And sometimes when you would expect to feel angry, you do not. Anger lives inside of you along with your other feelings. Accept that you can feel angry, but do not confuse a feeling angry with the expression of anger. You cannot control a feeling of anger, but you can control what you choose to do when you are angry. Makes total sense, doesn't it? Our training, brainwashing, has taught us to confuse a feeling of anger with the angry behaviors that we exhibit. Most of us are afraid of what we do when we are angry. We have repressed and denied our anger until it explodes into a rage. We then act in a destructive manner to others and to ourselves. Accepting the angry feeling as it occurs means that we do not accumulate the feelings until they become rage. Often accepting our anger as it occurs is enough. Remember, we do not always have to act on our feelings and our thoughts. We can choose what we will do, and we have a wide variety of choices. Practice to yourself when you feel angry. I'm angry. What do I want to do with this? How can I feel okay with my anger? Sometimes you may choose to express it to others. Sometimes you may choose to think about it for a while before you act on it. Sometimes you may want to yell and get upset. And sometimes you may want to calmly talk it out. And once in a while, you may choose to let it go and do nothing about it. There is no one right way to act when angry. Any behavior you choose is right as long as you take responsibility for it and feel all right with yourself. If you cannot get past your anger and let it go, ask for help. Most of the time, recognizing that you're angry at the moment you feel it and accepting your feeling without judgment is enough for the feeling to abate. Just as you cannot control your feelings cannot control you unless you choose to let them. This book is so powerful, it will change you from the inside out. You got to get the book, folks. Did you just hear everything I just said? We can choose to do what with our anger. Everybody has the feeling. It's one of the basic emotions, okay, of getting angry. We all been there. You can choose to yell and scream about it and beat somebody up because of it. That's your choice. Or you can choose to talk it out calmly. That's also your choice. And you're responsible for your behavior because of your feelings of anger. That's why people go to prison for killing people. They let their anger make them kill somebody or torture animals or torture children or torture you. That's what toxic people do that don't have, they're not mentally healthy. Okay. And if you're in a toxic relationship with a person that doesn't have self-esteem, that doesn't know how to control their anger, you need to get out and get self-esteem because they will harm you. And that's where all the people get hurt. They kill their animals, they kill their children, they will kill the person, these toxic relationships, because these people, they like go into a rage and they lose control of themselves. All right. Anyway, that's another very powerful chapter for you folks. And you can all attain self-esteem by the simple concept of mirror therapy. Look in yourself in the mirror, say, I love you, say, I love my inner child, say, I'm worthy to be loved, and say that daily. Okay. Don't ever stop and don't tell anybody you're doing it. If you're in a toxic relationship, get do that and don't tell them you're doing it. And get the book, The Portable Therapist. And you have control of two things: how you feel about yourself and the behavior because of that feeling. And so you can make the choice to love yourself, or you can make the choice to hate yourself. You know what I mean? It's in your control to make that choice. And the choice to do good. I got little cats walking on my pianos. What are you doing? Anyway, Douglas Bickford will have more later for you. Like I said, I can be your mentor. Give me a call, folks. I'll have another chapter for you tomorrow. Have a great day out there. Turning off everything here. I gotta walk that lonesome valley. Gotta walk that valley by myself. nobody walk it for me. Gotta walk the valley by myself. Ain't nobody walk it for me. Gotta walk that lonesome valley by ourselves. Ain't nobody walking for you. Gotta walk that lonesome valley by ourselves. Homes prosper, it's mine.